There are kids in this world who are different. Special.
There are these kids out there somewhere. Whittier calls them before. Why is it always 6 minutes?
In this episode, I'll be breaking down the latest episode of 6 Minutes Season 4, piece by piece. Hey listeners, it's Landon here. Today we are talking about episode 48 of 6 Minutes Season 4. So sometimes while doing recordings, there's just a lot of technical problems that go on. And so I'm just going to be sharing my, thoughts about the episode overall. And then I'm going to be playing some clips from the episode, some of my favorite clips, and then I'll have my good friend Sammy, who's been on the podcast before, share their thoughts. So firstly, overall, I thought this episode was really great, and, there's a lot that was conveyed in this episode, and I think it was really interesting. As we all know, Monica is has decided to basically save Adelaide. There's a lot to that, because we don't exactly know the consequences of that, right? Whether or not, that means losing Holiday. I think it's super interesting for sure, but to see, James come to Monica's aid, the way he did. Here's the clip I was talking about.
You made me want to be a better person.
I didn't need you to be better, James.
No, you accepted me for who I was. Questionable decisions and all. So, while I don't understand all of this, I accept you and love you for trying to help, like you always do. And if anyone is going to figure this out, it's you.
Also, I want to talk about, some theories that have been going around. We could see sort of back to the beginning. Because Holiday is wiped from existence, we basically see the consequences of that. Revisiting the first episode of 6 Minutes on the whale watching tour, except, when Birdie falls in the water, she doesn't see another kid out there. She's stranded in the water, so really we see the consequences of that in that, Holiday no longer exists. Here's the clip I was talking about.
What you're suggesting is that...
You want to save Adelaide? But Dr. A, what if you save Adelaide and
we lose Holiday?
Also in this episode, I think it was so great to hear, River and Sam get along in such a great way and, explore the island, kind of like, Holiday in season 2 and that, she had ridden the gazelles, and so we're almost seeing a repeat of that in a sort of way, which I think is great. Also, Holiday and, Jude showed up at the island, which, I thought was really interesting in that, we're kind of rallying everyone to the island. And also Birdie, Badger, and presumably Adam are still back in Alaska, which I think is an interesting choice, having Adam so far away from Jude, even though, Adam is trying to get to Jude and really make him pay in a sort of way. Here's the clip I was talking about.
What about Birdie? She here too?
I asked her to hang back with Badger. I just want to talk.
Oh, what's that? Another lion?
Sorry to disappoint. Just me.
I told you to wait by the huts.
Also, Guinevere Fontaine was brought up in this episode, and, I don't necessarily agree with the theory that Brinley is young Guinevere, because there's just a lot of continuity issues to that, and, I don't think it makes sense in the 6 Minutes timeline as well. And, it really changes everything we know about Brinley. And the other thing to that scene is, of course, we learned we're heading back to Elixir Key. Here's the clip I was talking about.
We've got to get out of here before Dr. Whittier and his goons come after us.
But where can we go? We'll need access to medicine and tech and...
Elixir Key.
It exists now?
Pretty sure. I remember reading a stone on the building. Guinevere Fontaine founded it in 1989.
I also really loved the dynamics between Sam and Holiday in this episode, and, it really surprised me because they related in a way that, we haven't really seen before, and there's a lot Sam can take from Holiday, right? They have a lot of similar experiences. Here's the clip I was talking about.
She really is the most amazing woman I've ever known. There was a reason I chose to be found by her, by the Anders family. The world is a better place for having them in it.
Wow.
Jessica Fisher, we had an interview together a while back, and she mentioned she'd like to see, two of the same person talking to each other. And, we saw something similar when Jude talked to Dr. Whittier, so I think it's really great. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed those clips. Now I'm going to hand on the episode on over to Sammy, who's been on the podcast before, and Sammy's going to share some of their thoughts.
Landon had just reached out to me, asking if I could share my thoughts, and my first thought was, where the heck is my goat Adam? If you don't already know, I'm a pretty big Adam fan, but that's besides the point. Last time we heard him, he had pushed Jude off a helicopter into the deep ocean. Very, very bold of him, I must say. I was expecting to hear him in the next episode. Maybe we might hear him in the next episode. No show. And it was like that for the next few weeks. But I do have some sort of theory or idea as to what Adam could be doing. He could be traveling back to Whittier Corp on the helicopter and just planning something real sinister with his clones and whatnot. I mean, why wouldn't he? After hearing about Brinley actually being adopted, he immediately had the thought that Brinley could possibly may or may not be Jude's timeline. I mean, it's no coincidence that Kate decided to suddenly bring home a baby and say to Joe, hey, this is our kid now. What other reason could we possibly come up with as to why Jude would want Brinley so badly? Something ain't adding up. Another thought, why did Monica do that? I swear she's making all these bold decisions and then suddenly taking Adelaide in. I get she has good intentions, but come on. What if the decisions she's making are as increasingly bad as the current events that canonically occur in the podcast? I don't know, just a lot of thoughts. I find this all really entertaining to listen to, either way.
If you enjoy the podcast, please leave a 5-star review. Until next time, this is Landon saying peace, love, and time travel.